maintain the intensity they had in the first half, it'd be a real credit to them and it'd give them a big boost going into round 2.
Nice work from the premiership, the reigning premiership captain, Cameron Ling. Start of the third quarter, a 31-point differential in favour of the Sydney Swans here at ANZ. Good crowd in, beautiful conditions for footy. Exciting stuff. Rowan to Bolton. Controlled little ball around the body. Bolton here under the pump. Roberts Thompson there, picked up by Bird over the top, and eventually Bug was able to get in the way and did well, but still under enormous pressure here at the moment. McGlynn absolutely working Kennedy over there, and boundary line saved him.
One area that the Giants drew level with in the first half, they were all square in clearances, which is a credit to the young midfielders who've been able to at least halve the contest in this situation.
Moore at the bottom of it. Handball out quickly to Shield, and now Kellen Ward under enormous pressure right on the goal line. Great shot from the cameras there. Palmer.
We actually got a tweet through BT. Moore, your boy, who you've been talking about all night. He's from Launceston in Tasmania. You love it down there. You really enjoy getting down to Launceston.
Yes, yes, I do love it down there. It's a nice spot. Homer Simpson, they call him, Big Maury. Homer is the man. Not sure why, but McVeigh around the corner. Snap it, goal. Got it for Sydney. Good start.
Yeah, good start for Jared McVeigh. Got himself in the right situation. A little unlucky, Giles, the ruckman, who I've been pretty impressed with. You see Big Mummy, who might have caught one round the chops, in fairness to Mummy. I thought he took a bit of a dive initially, but McVeigh, who is a class act, just found himself in a little bit of space, Richo.
He does that well, Darcy. He's very, very good around the stoppages. He hits the contest at pace and gets the ball as he's running, and that's impossible to stop. He's not flat-footed around the stoppage. Kicks a nice goal around his body. Great work, Jared McVeigh.
Sheeds looking rather composed. He and Mark Williams really sharing the duties up here. There's no one in particular dominating. Mark Williams doing most of the training stuff during the week. Sheeds doing a lot of the other things, the communication aspects of football players and getting them to perform. There's Jack, lovely left-footed kick. Roberts Thompson didn't have enough stretch. Here he is, the big fella. Moore, Homer. He's quick. He is the big man. Then they remain composed. Davis.
Got a good match-up on the wing on the commentary box side. Chad Corns. His opponent at the moment is Adam Goods, and Adam Goods let him go then. Probably not good enough from Goodsy.
Hoskin Elliott. Half back line. Deliberate ploy just to slow things down here when looks like the opposition are getting a little bit too much of the ball. Have they got the nerve to go backwards?
It'll be a good tactic for them right across this year. They're going to need times just to actually suck it in, BT, get some air in the lungs, slow the game down so that they can actually compete for 4 quarters.
Young Thomas Bowe spends a lot of time talking to Tom Harley on Twitter, I've noticed. Buggy.
Saw Buggy's family in the hotel foyer. They're pretty pumped to get over here.
How many of them, Richo?
About 45 that I came across. The whole Bug family, aunties, uncles, girlfriends.
I know the
siblings.
I was at a meeting with GWS during the week, the players' meeting, and noticed that they said no more tickets will be distributed to the players. I think they'd exhausted their supply of about 500.
I think Buggy's family got a lot of those. 10% of them, I'd say.
There's Roberts Thompson. Kennedy, oh, he got met high by Corns then. It was accidental. He was going for the ball, Chad, but...
Mark's here.
Let's have a listen.
Straight to him. Thanks, Chad. Thank you.
Well, he's been the argumentative type, Chad, across the journey, and that's a little reckless, Chad. And you get the reward. Josh Kennedy, that's his stock and trade. He'll put his head in the right position.
He said he was going for the ball.
He was.
Yep.
But he collected him in the head.
Absolutely.
It's just you can't go anywhere near the head now, and I think that's
particularly in that dangerous position. We understand that.
Yeah.
Kennedy bending it back nicely. Has he bent it enough? He has. He likes it. Hot here.
Spoke to John Longmire in that break there, and he was not happy at all at half-time with how slowly Sydney are moving the ball into the forward line. He wants them to get it in there quicker. They've started this quarter very well, so he'd no doubt be a bit happier.
Umpire Jacob Mollison getting it underway. Ward just forces it out of the middle.
Man in front.
Man in front has been paid the mark, and on this occasion it's Toby Green.
Nick, straight back to him.
Big Israel Folau is in the goal square, and he's got Teddy Richards posed to him. They're going to go in his direction.
He's in that direction now. Cameron's also the target there. There is the man you spoke of, Das. Look at this. Hampton off the top. How good was that left foot? He just lacked composure at two crucial times tonight.
Oh, it was a nice bit of work. He just didn't quite finish it off, but he's got some tricks. We saw him have that run and bounce through the 50 in the first quarter, and I like what I see from Kirtley.
He had him beaten there, and it's nicely done. Reid.
Saw a shot before Israel Folau. He wasn't in the best position, but Ted Richards was able just to force him out of the play. And they're the little nuances that are going to take him time, Richo. As you know, he just had to stand his ground a little stronger and work hard back to make sure he gave a contest.
Reid to Mumford. Moore's there with him. Ward's underneath it. Not much he could do about that. Not cleverly on by Everett. Gives Jenner a run of it, uses the pace, turns the afterburners on and runs into the open goal. Brilliant speed from Jenner.
Really like the balance of this side for Sydney. You've got the electrifying speed of Jetta, who just burns players every time he picks up the footy. Gary Rowan, one of the quickest players in the competition as well. And the balance of the in and under hard nuts is where we go back to Jude Bolton, McGlynn, Jack and the big mummy. It's a great list. Good things I'm expecting of Sydney this year.
I think you're spot on there, Darcy. One area of play that's never been a side that moves the ball quickly. They play on less than every other team. Rowan and Jetta, they're the guys that can break it open for them and just give them a bit more pace in their play and their ball movement.
Mumford. Starting to wind up now, City. They've kicked the last 5 goals of the game, 3 of them in this quarter. GWS, as expected, just maybe starting to show the signs of tiring with that required full game intensity. There's McGlynn. Back inside, risky ball. Cameron got a hand on it. Here's Hampton.
How clean was that?
Nice, wasn't it? Bug. Shield. Around Bolton. What do I do, he says. Take it to McDonald, who's pretty cool in the crisis. Able to find Toby Green. He gets around easily, able to go with the full journey. It wasn't a great kick to advantage. Wilson got over the top. Here he goes. He is a live wire, this guy. Basically playing as a full-time forward at the moment. Perhaps can develop to go into the midfield later in his career.
Das, I'd love your thoughts on this. I've noticed Giles and Mumford basically going one out in the ruck the entire game. Do you think it'll become the norm for the season that just one ruckman for each team, and can they cope with having to play that solitary role themselves?
Interesting point you raised there, Lingy, because we know the substitute rule came in last year, and maybe one of the unintended consequences is, do you want a big lumbering ruckman as a sub or a bench player? You need to be able to rotate and get through the ground. So perhaps that's what we're going to see. It's been Mumford and Giles, you're right. Feels like they've played all the minutes in the game tonight head-to-head. So maybe sides are going to say, look, I can't really carry a second ruckman. Israel Folau's done a little bit.
And good for footy, Das. It means we only have to carry 18 of the big fellas.
Ridiculous thing that you've just said there, Brian. First outlandish comment you've had for 2012.
Better result for all of us.
A good big man, always better than a good small man, Brian. And you'll hear more of that this year.
Quick hands.
No arguments from me, Das.
Roberts Thompson. And there's trying to burst through the pack there on that occasion was Humph. And now did really well, Gary Rowan, to Jack. Neat little ball. Here's Everett. Sliding handball to the runner. Jack kicks it to an open goal square. Needs an end-on-end bounce. Not going to get it. Jetta off the ground. Soccer style. How clean was Jetta on that occasion?
Oh, this is just great play. Lewis Jetta is really starting to get goal side of his opponent at the moment. He's now kicked 2 goals for the quarter. He's just got too much legs out there at the moment for his opponent and just getting goal side far too easily.
How nice is it to watch him cover the ground? It's like he's not even trying. He just glides across the turf and gets space with every step.
Kennedy, Western under-18s, just 19 years of age.
The young Greenie's opponent, he's just got to get goal side of him and just keep bumping him up the ground. At the moment, there's just no body contact at all on Lewis.
There he is, the big bear.
Big homer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's the man. He reminds me of a guy I know that was sort of big bearish type vague sort of customer, but still able to play the game at a very high level.
There he is, big Timmy Moore.
He might become a cult figure, I think, Big Maury.
Hello to Rory at home. There's Davis, who's been stable in defence, and stability is what's required of his little bit of experience.
Hands in the back. Hands in the back. I was out in the full. That's okay. Down the full. Down the full first. Thanks, Darren.
You're the umpire there. Forced to just kick over the mark.
Just
Not able to get hold of it.
Just your comment about big blokes before, BT. I'm not sure you've had a glance in the mirror recently, but...
No, but I'm not a ruckman, Richo, and ruckman, I think, sometimes bring the game down a level or two with their skills. As I look at Darcy, he's about to throttle me.
Real low-hanging fruit, that one.
I'm only joking, ruckman. Backing out of the pack. On that occasion, Cornelio. Some numbers here out wide. Corns puts it to the advantage of, I think it's Wilson arriving first. It is. Slapped the body in that contest, and now Smith. Good grab, Rowan.
Well, I'm excited for Gary Rowan because the mail is that he has had a summer that has just taken him to another level. He lives with Dan Hannabury, the NAB Rising Star winner from a couple of seasons ago. He's got pace, but we just haven't seen enough of it tonight. Hasn't really been able to impact the contest too often. This is just disposal number 6 he's coming up for, but he's so exciting. He's just got speed. He's got second and third efforts. He's someone they really want to improve this year.
Gone back for the long run-up. Momentum important here, says Gary Rowan. Enormous run-up inside the centre square. Gets nice and balanced and lets it rip. Distance not a problem at all. He likes it. The Swans 5 in a row in this quarter.
Well, Lingy, as the reigning premiership captain, when a team gets a run on and kicks 5 goals, what do you do as captain out on the ground? How can you stop something like this?
Last thing you want to see your boys do is drop their head at all. Got to stay positive, but probably more importantly, go back to the basics. Just try and win the next contest. Do it as basic as you possibly can. Get yourself back into the game a little bit.
Bolton to Jetta and Hoskin Elliott getting in the way there.
I don't think Lingy ever had to worry about that at Geelong, though. 5 goals in a row against them, but
No. Wouldn't have happened too much. 7 in a row now, 5 in this quarter. You need to it's hard to maintain game plan and that when you're young, and you just need to steady like they did in the first half here.
Went on again there to Big Gilesy in his debut game tonight. We've spoken about a bit, but that's just what you need. Not to get outmarked. He's brought it to ground, and they'll get a second crack. And this is Rail Folau taking just a little turn in the ruck here.
The front position there against Roberts Thompson. Here's Palmer over it. Shear was desperate for it, dragged it, and he must knock it out now. He did. Good little handball from Folau. And in the end, Grundy at half back.
it's a real trend tonight. I think that's Grundy's 6th intercept mark, along with Teddy Richards. They've just been doing that all night, and you can't allow defenders to intercept mark across half-back.
Good says, come at me, present up, and I can deliver it to you just like that. Parker moves the ball. Kick off the side of the boot wasn't great. Some GWS players slow to react here, especially Hoskin Elliott. McGlynn taken over the top. Melcheski on his preferred boot. The Bear, Moore, Homer gets back.
Nice disposal by foot. Very Maury as well.
Very effective by foot tonight too.
Tomlinson to Ward. Big boys in the box get sensitive when big men are talked about. Ward just straight down the line. Richards over the top. Back inside to Melcheski. No Kennelly on the other half-back line. One of the best users in the game. Melcheski says, go, Jude, go. Bolton ripping ball. Gets there, Mark taken Reid.
It's starting to unravel a little bit at the moment for the Giants. You can see unaccounted player there, Jude Bolton, 50-metre space at centre forward. It was probably what we were expecting. Rich as the game wore on, that they weren't going to be able to keep up and run as hard as they were at the start.
It takes a few pre-seasons, Darce, doesn't it?
Reid comes in, 20 metres out, kicking an issue.
I reckon you need 3 or 4 pre-seasons under your belt before you get that real solid aerobic base. And as the game wears on, the young guys are definitely going to feel the pinch. Sydney, very experienced side.
What's wrong with that kicking technique, Brian? I know this is a specialty and a real bugbear of yours. What did he do wrong?
I just reckon on that occasion he indicated he lost grip on the ball. He just either had a sweaty palm and he just lost the grip at that last second when it needed guiding down. Not sure there was too much on that occasion wrong other than an accident. Here's Rowan, goes into the hot spot, beautifully trapped by Bug, right to Green. Under pressure here now. Umpire said it's touched. Hanbury attacked it like no other. Somehow it got flipped out the back to Cornelio. Davis running, numbers, McDonald, good chain of play here. Palmer need to tidy it up now with a stop play kick. Hoskin Elliott, enormous pressure. Cornelio was bear hugged to the ground.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good strength again from Cornelio, not to concede, was able to stand up in the tackle.
Cornelio again, lost possession. Kennedy, magnificent little nifty handball to get it to Melcheski. Rowan, great hands to Roberts Thompson. Dangerous spot for the ball for GWS. Hoskin Elliott. Gee, that was a funny little kick, wasn't it? McDonald able to pick the ball up, kicks it to a 2-on-1. This is the boy from Mandurah in Western Australia, Wilson. Boundary line beats.
Let's go back and have a look at this Sam Reid BT. You can see the ball drop. Was it a bit of a poke? Did he not kick through it at the end?
Oh, look, he did, but he didn't get all the way through it, but he was only 30 metres out. He doesn't need to hit the driver if he can hit the 9-iron in golf terms.
So you don't think the follow-through was an issue there? You're happy just to stab that one from that range?
Always nice to have a bit of follow-through, but I just like the golfer's analogy that if you don't have to hit the driver off the tee, then don't take the risk going all out with the all-out follow-through if you don't have to.
I just reckon you're sort of sitting on the fence a bit there, BT. You're normally more.
You've given me 5 seconds to analyse the guy. I'd like to spend a day with him, and then I'll give you the answer.
Sort him out, would you please?
Gee, all over me. Swans have worked it to their half-forward line.
Big Mummy picks himself up. But I reckon it's been an interesting week for Sydney to come in hiding to nothing for them in lots of ways, because the expectation is you win by 100 points. I just don't know whether some of their real hard competitors have got themselves up for it. Big Mummy just seems to have wandered around tonight, hasn't really wanted to trouble too many. They've still been good enough, 61 points at this stage of the game. But I'm just not sure that a few of them have really just given their absolute 100%.
Kirky, you've got Steve Waugh in the stands.
Yeah, how good's this gig? Mate, I'm sitting here with Steve Waugh, the great captain of Australia. Steve, you're a Western Sydney boy. What's a footy team going to do for the community and the kids out this way?
I think it's fantastic, mate. All kids need their heroes. They need to support teams, and it's really right for Sydney to have another team in this sort of standard. I think it's great, and it'll really inspire kids to get out there and have a go.
And I know that you met with some of the GWS captains just recently. Did you share any words of wisdom or some advice for the boys?
Well, I think it's really about enjoying the journey in the first year, working for each other. It's going to be a challenge for sure, but stick with each other, believe in each other, and as I say, look, work hard together. It'll be fun.
And do you ever stop missing playing, mate?
I think you do. I mean, when you see a game like this tonight, you really appreciate the value of playing for Australia and playing those big moments, but it's nice now to sit back and watch and enjoy the sport.
Thanks for your time, Steve.
No worries, thank you.
Well, the former captain of Australia as McGlynn arrives, got it on to Reid, couldn't control it. great to hear from Steve Waugh, a Western Sydney stalwart. Loves the new code out in this region.
I reckon tonight has been a great success for the AFL. You know, a lot of people saying, is this the start to the year that you want a standalone game in Sydney? We're used to the big game coming up, Carlton and Richmond Thursday. Richo, can't wait for that. It's going to be massive. And Friday, Hawthorn and Collingwood. A lot of Melbourne people will feel that's the traditional start to the year. But a beautiful night in Sydney, really, really healthy crowd. I think it's a tick for the AFL tonight.
Johnson to Parker, been impressive tonight. Johnson of the Swans gives it off to Melcheski. Driving left foot ball. Reed's there again. This time goes for the spoil. Rowan went without it. Need to fight on here, GWS. The avalanche is coming, you feel, if it hasn't already. Picked up by Kennedy. Green. Got to work it wide. Toby Green. Jetta's the danger here. Tomlinson waiting for help to arrive. Green followed up his own work in the end. Hampton, looks like no one can get near Hampton. He's just got to realise that he can actually take him on a little more if he wants. Well done, Ward. Really good play. High ball on the head of Richards, out Mark Wilson.
This has become a real issue in this third quarter, BT. Teddy Richards and Heath Grundy have now had 11 intercept marks between them, and the half forwards and the forwards of Greater Western Sydney, I know they want to press up the ground, but you have to then come back and make these defenders accountable. They're just running their own race down there at the moment.
High ball over the top. Mark taken in by Jeremy Cameron. Ball just didn't get to him in the first half as a centre half forward. And seems to have gone behind the ball a little.
I think he has, but Teddy Richards is loose at the other end, BT, causing a lot of trouble.
Bourne's under Kennedy pressure, needs to nail the kick, and gobbled up by Parker. Handball onto Jack. Pressure coming at him. Time to get it away, and did it hit the post?
Here we go.
Let's have a listen.
Just check if the ball hit the post on the way through.
Looked to me like it did. I thought I saw a deflection.
Devo, it looked like it hit the post, mate.
Yep, there it is.
Just wait.
Behind, ball hit the post.
Just wait, mate.
So there you see it. The review system scoring review system in process there finds a good result.
Stevo is the third umpire that we heard referred to there. They got it up to him. He's sitting right alongside us. Clear cut. That's a good result. Working very well on the first occasion.
Got it right. Umpires have been instructed, if they're in any doubt whatsoever, to go. I just hope we don't see them go too often when they know the result, like we've seen, I guess, in the cricket game where they tend to go all the time. Shield combining with Cornelio through the middle of the ground there. Richards. Good tackle, and I think we'll have a ball up here, or the umpire's going to penalise, I think. He is. Against Wilson. So the end of this quarter can't come quick enough. This is where GWS would love to have a timeout. Ball taken here by Cunningham, who was the sub that's been activated for Sydney.
Luke Parker's the man off, BT.
Not off.
So Parker is the man off. Ball back in the hands of GWS. Ball back inside here for Corns, trying to force his way through Kennedy. Good, sprints away, then sums up his options, turns sideways, and great composure by the Brownlow medalist.
I go down to catch up with Cameron Ling. He looks to me from up here as though all the run and spread that the Giants had has just completely evaporated. They've got tired. We thought it would happen. Is that what you're seeing at ground level?
Spot on, Das. There's a lot of walking going on out there by the GWS boys, and the guys who are coming to the bench just look absolutely cooked. I think the young boys are starting to feel the intensity and the pressure of AFL football and are struggling to run with it, but it'll be a great learning experience for them, and I'll be keen to watch how they respond to it.
Hanbury. More in front of his Cameron.
can imagine a lot of that nervous energy, BT, the first gamers would have had. So much excitement. You've got your family down, your first couple of contests, and it gets to about this time of the game where the gorilla jumps on your back, Richo, and you've got nothing to give at all, and I reckon we're seeing a bit of that right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of lactic acid build-up out there at the moment. I thought they did train for quite a while yesterday, and it was quite warm up here in Sydney, and maybe they're just starting to feel the pinch, the young fellas.
Off hands. Sydney. Control here at the moment. It's been in there half 70% of the game so far. So that is an enormous amount of footy at their end of the ground, played it almost solely at their end.
Just casting an eye on Big Moore. He looks a bit tired. Your man as well, BT.
Yep. Mark Williams there, by the way. 3 start-up clubs he's been to. The Bears, Port, and now GWS. There's the man that knows how to start a club up.
It's probably the reason they got him. He knows what it takes in a new territory. Was he there? Was the original Brisbane Bear?
Yes, he was. So he tells me. So I'll go with his version of it. I asked him that myself, Rich. I said, yeah, I was the Bears. Of course I was when they started, so I didn't want to argue anymore. He's a man that knows his stuff. Cornelio, especially given the fact he was there. Off hands, and Cornelio will get it back. Couldn't take possession, so it was intelligent to knock it away. Coming through Matner. Melcheski caught.
A number of experienced campaigners that aren't available tonight for the Giants as well. Dean Brogan, we saw him train yesterday, a couple of weeks ago. Big Satander O'Halpin, Luke Power, the co-captain, about a week away as well. And of course, we spoke to Tom Scully.
Not only that, Das, but Patton, as you mentioned, Taylor Adams, Treloar, Scully, Bunton.
Or walk-up starts, we believe.
I'm told they're in the top 10 of this group at the moment. So when they're available, that group of young players plays as well as the experienced guys.
Well, I said to Big Johnny Patton just before we spoke to him at half-time, I said, a lot of talent out there, mate. And he said, there's plenty more sitting in the stands. So they know what they've got.
Take confidence, the big boy, Johnny Patton. He had a bit of swagger about him, BT.
I'll tell you what, he is a big man.
Taylor Adams is another beauty out of the Geelong Falcons down there at the footy factory, Pete Turner style.
Geelong Falcons in a bit tonight, BT.
Well, they get a lot of players. Cameron with a hanger over the top was an absolute beauty.
Stay out, Lewis. Stay out.
Just about my favourite, Jeremy Cameron, from what I've seen over the summer. And the boy from Dartmoor, a town of 150 people, which show just all he wants to do is fish and play footy, and that's what he will be doing for the next 15 years.
If I said to you a debutant was going to take a mark like that in the game 10 years ago, you'd say I was kidding. These days, unbelievable confidence to jump at the ball there from Jeremy Cameron from that town of Dartmoor.
Down in front of me saying that's exactly what I did on debut 10 years ago.
Can't even remember back that far, Das. But he is a player, and he was probably...
Dylan Shield has been subbed off as well for GWS, as we see shot after the siren here for Andreas Everett. This to turn it into a 69-point three-quarter time lead. Good-looking ball, needs a little left to right, hit the post. Hit the post with that final kick after the siren. So here at three-quarter time, Sydney comfortable leaders over GWS in their first game. 64 points, 13-8-86. GWS 3-4-22. Plenty more to come on the other side of the break. Can't wait. And Sydney now starting to put a gap between them and GWS. There's Gilesy out of the middle. Ward with a fast start. Haven't kicked a goal since the 14-minute mark of the second quarter. GWS with a fumble there from Grundy. McVeigh around the corner. Goal kickers for GWS: Ward, Wilson, Hoskin, Elliott. Here is Hampton. In front of one of the new sponsors of GWS, Lifebroker there. As they go out wide, McVeigh tackled by Devon Smith. Well done in the end. Sold the nice Candy Grundy, not once but twice by foot. And Hampton again.
Stay there.
Been exciting. Curtly Hampton, he was one of the first signings overall for the GWS. He's from the Northern Territory, one of their zone players. And at a young age, BT was always going to be an elite performer. Good debut from him tonight.
Chad's been good as well. One of the older players they recruit. A lot of people probably thought, will Chad Corns play on? Well, what we've seen tonight, he's still got a bit to offer. There's no doubt about that.
No, he's just a real professional, Richo. He prepares himself magnificently. Doesn't, you know, he knows when he can't do any more, and he'll tell the training staff he's experienced enough to know his body really well.
But looking at him at training, he looks as fit as ever, Chad Corns. So it's a credit to the summer that he's put in.
Yep. Falau sitting on the bench there. Subs have been activated from both teams in this game. Hands, Davis gone forward by the looks.
Not a bad idea, because Teddy Richards is just about best on ground at centre-half back with 8 intercept marks, which is an amazing amount. And Phil Davis, a little bit more experienced, still only 18 games, but he might be able to make Teddy accountable.
Ball back inside here. Grundy. No one comes at him, so he runs to the middle of the ground and then kicks at 50 as well. Rowan at the back.
Holding. GWS, advantage, advantage.
Advantage play. Hampton, just a short little pokey kick. Had to go and earn it. Tyson. Really good player, this man, Dom Tyson. Dad played cricket at Carlton. Off hands, Townsend again, and Jetta.
Hold there.
Loved his game tonight. He's a key player this year. They want to improve a little bit more.
Look like they're going to. As the mark is taken by Goods in the lead.
Hasn't been Adams' best night. Just
it's slack as Bird is able to get in nice and close.
slack marking there. Goods, he's just warming himself into the season.
Craig, that's your line.
That man there, Israel Falau's played 80% of the game tonight again. Been rotated a lot, but they're giving him a lot of game time, which he obviously needs. Here is Bird. First opportunity for Sydney in this final quarter. He's got some altitude on it.
He's had a long time to get ready for this first game, is he? Obviously recruited, played last year in the competition up here.
He missed a lot of last year because he came with that ankle injury from the NRL. It took him a while to get him going.
It's going to be an interesting challenge for him, isn't it? For a man who was an absolute superstar in his other sport, an Australian player, everything that you wanted to achieve in the sport of rugby league.
Will he stay?
Well, now you find yourself as a battler, as someone coming on and off the ground. It's an interesting question, BT. I'm not convinced, like Carmichael Hunt, he will re-sign with the Giants. I think he's 22 years of age. He might do his couple of years here and then decide to go back, whether it's to Union or rugby league. But a mindset change, isn't it, where you were the star and now you're the new kid on the block.
Yeah, well, depends on the success that he has between now and sign time, I guess. Richards, beautiful running from half-back. The overlap was magnificent. Hampton in front failed to make contact off hands and made a bit of a mess of it, did the big fella, Ross Thompson.
It's a great point you make, though, Das, because someone who's been a superstar in one sport, it has to be hard to take to, not be of that standard in the next sport you play. You get accustomed to what you do in one, so mentally it's a challenge for him.
It is. Real headache for both of them, really. But they've both brought some notoriety to their respective AFL clubs, and that's part of the reasoning behind their selection. As Green has been pretty impressive tonight, Toby Green. All out wide to Giles and McDonald combining. Caught in the tackle. Did he get rid of it legally? Umpire said no. On. 65 points is the margin here at the moment. Corns, beautiful. Back with the flight of the ball. Kick is perfectly placed, absolutely perfectly placed for Homsch. He gets it back. Now he's not sure where to go. They just don't spread enough when their player gets into trouble, and Ward just keeps it alive, but the kick is under some pressure. Wilson panicked a little bit with the handball then. Got it under pressure. Knew he had to just get rid of it. Malcheski just waltzes through from traffic there. to back. Andreas Everett's Rowan back to Reed. Reed on the right, gets a really good look. Couldn't get the bend on the ball. 2-on-1 for GWS. Roberts Thompson's in there. They tie him up with a Cameron tackle.
Thank you. Watch the deliberate.
Is he
rush,
back on the ground? Haven't been able to get it up cleanly to Izzy's end of the ground, deep enough for him to be in the best territory for him, deep in the forward line.
I haven't seen a one-on-one opportunity yet for Israel.
This is where he needs to present, Big Izzy, down the line. There's nothing else. He has to make a contest here.
Giles goes long on the head of Davis and Israel Folau, who really got pushed out of the contest pretty good. Bird took him on and failed to get rid of it. The advantage paid here. Now Palmer's got nothing on over the top. What does he do? The umpire said he ran off the mark. He got around one. Now he can go. Davis takes the mark.
He's been fantastic tonight, Reece Palmer.
Townsend it is, sorry.
Work rate exceptional.
Third time lucky. Tomlinson, beautiful ball. And now McDonald. Goes back and finds Smith.
You just think, as a young player, you can get caught just ball watching a lot, and I think that's what a lot of the young players do. They're at the contest and they're honest at the contest, but if you can't impact that contest, you've got to be thinking ahead and getting on the end of the next ball. And Palmer's the one player tonight in their side, the Giants side, that's read the play and been able to push forward. Young players have been honest at the contest, just got to learn the spread.
Fourth disposal for the quarter, interrupted in his run. He thought McVeigh, he asked the umpire, he said he's come over the mark on the umpire. He probably should have had the composure to go back again. Might have run out of time, though.
Hey, Das.
Yes, Kirky.
Mate, I want to just talk about Israel Folau again. We're talking about the challenge that he faces. But I think it takes a lot of courage to be the top at another one sport and then change over and play a different game that you haven't grown up with. I think we need to give him some time and patience. He's a first-year player.
I agree with you 100%, Kirky. Certainly wasn't having a crack at Israel and where he's going. I think it's a great move. I think the challenge is more just the mindset to say, I did something at such an elite level. Am I ever going to get there? And I hope he stays. And look, to me, if he got 40 or 50 games and played that at a reasonable level, that is a massive success, a massive tick to be able to go and compete in another code. And let's hope it happens.
Yeah, I agree. There's going to be some self-doubt there for him. But some games under the belt and some confidence. He's a big man. You can see once he imposes himself in the contest, he could actually pick the game up really quickly.
Big ground here really hasn't helped him either. Perhaps Eddie had there might get the ball a little deeper for him, but here's Hoskin Elliott. Beautiful kick. Absolutely magnificent to Davis in the lead.
I think Kirky's points are good. We're going to treat Israel Folau as if he's a 17-year-old kid who hasn't played before and judge him on that, nothing else. And if he improves, that's all we need to see.
Hampton thought about winding up for the big one and said, no, I'll just gently get this ball inside the forward 50 and make sure we get a good look at a goal, and Kennedy is the man.
They had that mark. Phil Davis had that mark in the corridor and did the right thing and fed it back to Hampton, but gone very wide now. It's a tough shot on goal.
Adam Kennedy, one of those debutants, 17 of them, equaling Adelaide's record of 17 when they debuted, but very few of those were young players, a lot of older, more experienced type players. And remember Adelaide, I think they belted Hawthorn on that night.
They did. They had a lot of guys that had played 200 games in the SANFL, so very different sort of story it was for the Crows.
Margin here at the moment, 64. Gold Coast went down in their first game in round 2, of course. They had a bye in the first round by 119, so keep that in balance and in mind.
I think the Dockers won their first game also.
There's Giles. Have not kicked the goal since the 14-minute mark of the second quarter, GWS, and here is a great opportunity as Cornelio is a little sore.
Where's this man been? Jonathan Giles, 4 years at Port Adelaide. Choco wouldn't give him a game there.
Sacked him,
and he's found himself back up here, and I'm becoming a fan very quickly.
And they rated his goal kicking yesterday. Steve Silvani said that he can go forward and only needs a couple of opportunities, doesn't miss, so we'll see how he goes here.
200 centimetres, 99 kegs, and here he is, the big man, as Cornelio will come from the ground. Giles, good-looking stroke. His first goal in footy as well. 4 for GWS.
Tonight's official attendance here at ANZ Stadium, there it is, 38,203. Thanks for joining us tonight for the Giants versus Sydney Swans, round 1 of the AFL.
Second highest. Have a look at this, top right of frame.
Well, a little jab in the stomach there.
Yeah. By the way, a huge crowd, the second biggest crowd ever for a debuting club. 38,203 here tonight is really, really impressive. Well done to the GWS membership base of around about 15,000. David Matthews, the CEO, in control, and I believe things heading in the right direction.
Seeing a lot of orange around too, BT, which is a good sign. We know the Sydney fans are out in force, but some good support first up. That is a great result. Good crowd, beautiful night in Sydney. Big tick all round.
Steve Silvani in charge of list management. Graham Allen in charge of the footy, and all doing a really great job.
So I just have a look at Jacob Townsend in there, who he's a hard nut. He's getting in there and just getting in the face of the opposition. Loves a bit of physical action.
Over the top of it there is Tyson, state cricketer. Dom Tyson, as I mentioned, his dad played for Carlton, and his dad owns the rights for Deodora in Australia.
There you go. Might get a pair, BT, for that. I'll tell you who else we have to mention. Craig Lambert's been a great help, and of course
The fans have been a good help.
They're helping, but Lambie and his wife Melissa look after a lot of the boys at Breakfast Point, former Lions and Richmond champ.
They do. One of the players, I think it was Tomlinson, actually rang Lambie and said, my car's broken down, can you come and get it? And Lambie arrived and he'd run out of petrol. He didn't know there was a petrol gauge in the car. So here's Goods. Out of bounds on the full.
It wasn't a quiet night for the champ tonight, Adam Goods. Hasn't really impacted himself in the contest, disposal number 18 on that occasion. So pretty solid output, but not his all-time best.
With the 5 marks for Adam Goods as well. Giles and Reid, up went Cameron with the 1 claw. McGlynn slipped at the crucial moment. In the end, this man, Johnson, who was pretty impressive in the first half of footy, almost a one-hander by Everett, but the soccer off the ground was equally as good, and the Swans get another. Everett getting his first goal tonight, the first goal in this final quarter for the Swans is Kennedy, and that combination of Mumford and Kennedy has been fantastic over the last year or so. This time it's GWS though. McVeigh so Everett has put them 64 points up here. And Sydney Swans coaching staff, and there is the brains trust of GWS. Jetta, McVeigh, Smith, and now Kennedy. And out the back door is Grundy.
Let's catch up with Cameron Lee at ground level. Lee, what are your thoughts overall on the way the Giants have performed tonight?
Boys, Brett Kirk threw down the challenge at three-quarter time about what he wanted to see from the GWS boys, and he really wanted to see some fight. He wanted to see some real resilience. I'm seeing that in this last quarter. They're still having a crack, a little bit of niggle, a little bit of push and shove. Cornelio went off the ground hurt, but he came straight back on the ground. Loving that little bit of character shown by the Giants boys.
Well, they've won 54% of the ball in this quarter. You're quite right, Lingy, so they've certainly matched it. Here's McGlynn through the middle to Rowan. Did well to get hold of that. Andreas Everett got on his bike. Can slow and balance and send it home, but misses.
It's a great chase from Kirtley there. That's been really impressed with him tonight. He gave a maximum effort to run down Andreas Everett there, and I think the pressure was just enough to put him off.
It's out of bounds on the full, so that's not great.
Used to get called Kirtley when I was a young guy, actually.
Why was that?
Big fast bowler.
Just the big lips, Kirtley Ambrose,
Okay.
West Indies.
Fans, McGlynn, the little man, tried to bore a hole. Gary Rowan impressive, but hits the post. And now he's got the sore ankle with the head and the shoulder.
I think his observation's a good one, isn't it? It could have easily have just been a total blowout this last quarter, but there has been some good fight, some real character, prepared to just stand up and fight against the fact that they're tired. And well done again on debut. It's been pretty impressive, Richard.
I think everyone sort of universally said 10 goals was kind of the pass mark, and that's where we're at the moment. So if it stays here, that's a real positive start for the GWS Giants.
Giles and Mumford again. Again, Giles probably got the better position. Certainly got hands on the ball cleanly. Jack.
Stay there. Stay there.
Bug. Short ball. The Bear Moore. Homer. Launceston boy. Via Casey in the VFL. 23 years of age. And we'll have a boundary throw in here right in front of the interchange area. Kennedy waiting to come on.
Another great aerial attack on the footy from Phil Davis, Richard. You've got to love the way he has just got tunnel vision. When the ball's in the air, it doesn't matter what's around, he goes for it.
Well, he's going to bring it to ground if he doesn't mark it, Das, because he hits it really hard, and that's exactly his job as a tall player.
Ward. He took him on, he did. Gee, he's lucky there, because I thought he took him on, turned a full circle and failed to get rid of it. But anyway, he's got the benefit.
Just kicking goals at the moment. They've only kicked 5 goals. This has been their average, and they did it 3 times in the NAB Cup. They just haven't got someone down forward at the moment that's going to be able to kick, you know, your 3 or 4 or 5 goals. Just need to find someone to do that as the year goes on.
Looks like a bit of cramp there for Canelio.
Yep. Alan Connell sitting on the right of Kevin Sheedy. Canelio saying there is where the cramp is. The back door and some numbers. Ends with Ward. Got nothing deep, so where does he go? A little too deep to nothing, but in the end, that's a great result, bouncing in the field of play.
Found touch. Teddy Richards was nearly there again. He's had a field day tonight, down back. Bit of cramp setting in now, Das, lactic acid.
Perhaps needs to get back to his feet, Stephen, and just get up. I would have thought. I know that's tough. Sounds a little tough. Pomps goes long, get up and get on with it. Ball through for a behind.
We're talking about a man here, Das, who just wandered out of the goal square occasionally and stood around for half the game.
Cramp never a problem for you, Brian. You actually have to run to get cramp. And
Lingy, did you ever
that troubled you?
spend 5 minutes on the ground with cramp, lying down?
No, I can't say I ever did, BT. I must agree with the boys, though. I reckon I might have run a few more Ks than you over the years.
Okay, all right.
Big barge.
Don't have to run when you get the ball and you kick goals. Anyway.
It's Cramp City down here, guys. There's been 3 players come off in the last 5 minutes with cramp, and just the rigours of AFL football is a fair step up from under-18s last year.
Nasty groin cramp.
Another one there to deal with as well, Das. So, cramp setting in almost like a disease out there at the moment. Muscle fatigueness. Getting back is Grundy.
Stay there.
Some nice ice baths after the game. It's going to be some sore boys tomorrow.
Had a bit of a field day, the halfbacks for the Swans, Teddy Richards and Grundy. They've been able to pick off a lot of the uncontested footy that's come their way. Just a little bit more experience. They've held their position and been pretty effective.
Jack to Reed. More in front. Reed. On preferred side, got it to Roberts Thompson. He wanted to get back on the right, and by that time, Corns had him wrapped up. And Jeremy Cameron started footy just at the age of 14, Jeremy Cameron. Sheeds' love child, I'm told.
Is that right?
Jeremy Cameron, yep. Absolutely can do no wrong, according to Kevin Sheedy. Here's Rowan. Bolton back, the 1-2. Rowan.
There's a lot of time, boys, on both teams at the moment. It's come to a bit of a standstill at the moment out there.
Here's BT's man, Timmy Moore.
And young Buck's just come off. He's in a lot of trouble. Have a look down here. Would love to get a shot of him.
He's had a full body meltdown, young Buggy.
He's in a lot of trouble.
Big Morey plays onto himself, loves to do that. Got it over the top, but hard to get it over the top of the zone late in the game when you're a little tired. Bolton forward. Here's Ward. Didn't get down enough. Once again, picked up here by Cunningham. The sub turns it, puts it back in the square. Great mark taken by Corns.
Sammy.
Little ball wide.
On,
Finds Kennedy. That's Adam Kennedy.
I'm just saying young Buck's come off. He's had 29 possessions. Not a bad debut, Das. No wonder he's got cramp.
Yeah, been a fantastic performance from him first up, and
Good to see Cornelio back out there.
Yes.
Man that first had the cramp. Opportunity now working in really tight was Dom Tyson. He and Tomlinson went to Trinity Grammar together. And now Sydney has really deteriorated the level of this game.
that's 64-point margin, BT, at three-quarter time. And the Swans have only been able to extend that by a couple of points. So, as Lee pointed out, some good fighting qualities shown here in the last quarter from the Giants.
Corns sold the handball Candy very nicely. Andreas Everett been okay, Jude Bolton been okay, and
the good thing about it for these young guys, they've got a long break now before their next game. Plenty of time to recover.
How many will they win in 2012? Which are the Giants?
I reckon they'll pinch one in the second half of the year for sure. If they win a couple of games, I think that'll be an absolute positive for them, to be honest.
play North in their next game, GWS, West Coast, and then Adelaide. So going to be tough for them. Here goes GWS. Hampton's the target. Got it inside 50, and I reckon he can go the journey. Can get it over the top to MacDonald. Now he needs to steady. He likes to give it away in this circumstance, but he needs to kick the goal here.
Hey, the great thing about this is all in the back of Israel Folau. Have a look at the big hard tackle. Brilliant stuff. And then he bounced back up and was able to get involved in the next contest. So that's all you need. Look at this. Pickup was sensational at speed. Clever handball. All you want to take away is a bit of a positive, and that is a massive one. Well done, Israel.
James MacDonald, the midfield coach, playing coach, one of them, guides the kick in, and that's nicely done here for GWS. Can they win the last quarter? Easy tackle again.
Yep.
Five goals they have kicked, and Israel Folau, as you said, Das, the instigator.
Yeah, really excited about that for Israel. We know that he's got the physical capabilities of doing it, and that is something you can take away from the game. It was a really good effort on the tackle, and the second effort was what I like more about. He got up, picked one up cleanly on his toes. Well done.
Another opportunity is Devon Smith forward with the ball without great accuracy. Here's Hampton. He just glides through traffic. Curtly Hampton. MacDonald trying to hold him up. Malcheski went and got the ball. It'll give. Mumford took him on, just got rid of the handball in the nick of time, and now Hanbury got bundled over the line by MacDonald, who was brutal early in this game.
That's a bit of a harsh decision. I've liked how he's played tonight, James MacDonald. He's kicked a goal. 23 possessions. Now, I know when he was recruited, I don't think they expected him to play every game. He's there as a coach as well. Das, do you think he'll have a number of rests during the year so that he doesn't get injured and he can stay out there till right at the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, Richo, that the management of the senior players is going to be an issue for them. There are a lot that will probably just play the 1 year. Dean Brogan, James McDonald. Of course, we've got Chad Corns, who's had a really good night tonight. He might even get a second year, but they need the balance. They need some hardened bodies around. How they manage that is going to be a big issue for the Giants.
Well, I'd rather them not be in rehab and at least be out on the track. So a few breaks here and there to keep the bodies in order.
Makes sense.
Keep them out on the track.
Goods from 52 out with a long ball. Missed the lot.
Of course, Geelong did that with their players last year. You've got to manage your senior players in the modern age for sure.
Hasn't looked happy at times tonight. Big Goodsy. Here's Morey, the bear. He likes to take a long time to get set from fullback. This time gets it in and finds Kennedy. Bouncing out wide, kick not great. I like the way they've been supportive of each other, GWS. Haven't got angry at each other when they're obviously going to miss easy targets.
And the key defenders, Moore, he stood up. They haven't had a dominating key forward, the Sydney Swans. Reid hasn't done a lot. Lewis Thompson hasn't done much either. So big bear down there.
The two best flyers in the game there, Cameron and Reid, both elevating. And that might be the big fella Moore that's got a sore head.
Giants will get the free kick. It's a unique setup and a really interesting situation. All of these players all live in the same community. It's about 10 minutes. Breakfast Point is the name of it from where we are here at ANZ Stadium. So some of them will live with 2 teammates, 3 teammates, up to 4 in houses. And they share common rooms. They've got their whole time together. So, well, if you don't get on, you're going to have an issue. But from what I understand, it's working pretty well so far, Richard.
I think Izzy's the only one who doesn't live there because he's obviously got a lot of family in Sydney. So, yeah, you wouldn't want to get sick of each other.
Kevin Sheedy's there as well, BT. You wanted down there the other day?
It is. It's a community, I think, by the time it's finished, going to house around about 6,000 people. So it's like a very small suburb. It's not like they're tripping over each other every time they walk out the door, but they will see a bit of each other. Sheeds is down there. The Lamberts, as Richo alluded to. Kennedy got one in the back there from Corns. Lucky to get away with that. Giles got a little poker on it. Bold and fierce at the contest, as he always is. Picked up here on this occasion by Johnson. Shot at goal to the right. So it's only a 62-point margin. It was 64 at three-quarter time, so done well here, GWS.
It probably should be a lot more, the margin. 70 inside 50s to 28. 28 scoring shots to 12. But they have forced them under pressure a lot of time with the shots on goal.
Big thumping kick, your man, BT. I reckon he's just going to get this as far away as he can.
Likes to play on and then kick it, but they're awake up to that on the mark now. Kicks it long. Gee, there was a push there, and Mumford has marked. Thought about the Rowan play on. Mummy into the pocket. Goods gets attracted to the ball.
Another one of the recycled players, Shane Mumford, that come to Sydney. He was certainly a player that Geelong didn't want to lose, but the opportunity to come up here was too good. But he's a great player, Shane Mumford. Love the way that he goes about his game. He's got enormous strength. His second effort ruck work is almost as good as anyone going around the competition.
Palmer needs to get rid of it, or he'll be pinged here.
I've actually put GWS got every player.
He jumped on the ball then and didn't make an attempt to knock it out, even though it was almost impossible, and got pinged.
Got every player inside their defensive 50-metre arc at the moment, GWS.
Race is right on it here.
So this kick, if it's successful, will mean that Sydney will outscore them in this last quarter as Bird comes in. Kick is offline. Siren sounds. And the Sydney Swans have won the first game of the year against the debutants GWS. 14-16, 100 to 5-7, 37.
and gentlemen, on this historic night for Australia's game here at ANZ Stadium, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to invite former AFL ambassador and Sydney Swans captain Brett Kirk to present the medal named in his honour to the player adjudged best on ground in the Sydney Derby. Brett.
And the winner of the medal from the Sydney Swans, Josh Kennedy.
First of all, I'd like to thank GWS. Really feeling it at the moment. It was a tough game, and I'm sure there's plenty of positives to come out of this year for you boys. And also, I'd like to thank the supporters for coming out tonight. Really got us up and got us over the line. Both the GWS and Sydney supporters. Hopefully, this is the start of a great rivalry to come over many years. Thank you.
Josh Kennedy there, yes, 38,203.
Ladies and gentlemen, the two teams tonight are playing for the White Ribbon Cup. The White Ribbon campaign is the largest global outlet to stop violence against women. This game is organized to lead the social change. White Ribbon Cup by Ambassador Paul Mercurio to the co-captain, the Sydney Swans, Adam Goods.
First of all, just like to thank GWS. Fantastic effort, you blokes. I'm sure the next time we play, it's going to be a lot tougher for us out here. To all the supporters of Sydney, thanks for getting out here. We look forward to seeing a lot more out here next time. All the best.
Thank you, Adam. Well done. GWS, continued success in the year ahead. You can hold your heads very high tonight. Well done to the Sydney Swans. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed the opening match of the 2012 Toyota AFL Premiership season.
So Sydney victorious here over the GWS in the first game that GWS have put together. They'd be very, very happy. James McDonald and Kevin Sheedy enjoying a lighter moment.
Yeah, look, I think they're very competitive. Obviously outgunned in a lot of areas, the inside 50s and shots at goal, but I think their endeavour and effort was magnificent from such a young team, and that's a really, really positive start for the GWS Giants. For the Sydney Swans, they got the job done. And Josh Kennedy, we spoke about him before the game. I think he's a deserving winner of best on ground. 27 possessions, 7 clearances, and he kicked a couple of goals, which is going to become crucial if he just wants to go to that next level as a midfielder.
Normally the winning team just give away the footies or the trinket darts. Down at the Dogs they used to give away a tea towel. They give away footies now, but even the GWS doing the right thing here with their fans and giving some footies away.
I know you're not one for emotion much, BT, but I think it's a nice touch for the GWS fans who've got behind their side in the first night. Give them something back, Bryce.
Yes.
It's okay to spread the joy. You don't have to be a narc in every situation.
I like it, Darth. I like it. And Sydney, not their home game tonight, of course, a GWS home game at this stadium tonight. They will, I think, play their first game at Skoda Stadium, which is just down the road here, a boutique stadium of about 28,000. About round 8 against the Bombers, I think it is.
Official crowd tonight, 38,203. We get a little bit complacent sometimes in AFL footy, Richard. If this was a rugby game, the two best teams, rugby league game, this would have been an unbelievable result. We go, oh, you're not a bad effort, 38,000. This is a new team debuting out here. Great effort.
Have a listen to Sheeds if we can.
Third quarter, played pretty well for most of the rest of the night, except for the 20 minutes. Fair enough? Let's get it right. Good boys.